Champions Cup rugby, folks. Clermont against Leicester, 44 points to 29. The away team come away with the victory. This game was a good ad for the competition. Very, very crazy, high-scoring, quality tries. Really, really good game. And personally, being here in NZ, I appreciate the late kickoffs in France. It's like a 9 a.m. kickoff over here. I hadn't even had my breakfast. So, yeah, perfect. Perfect stuff. We're going to go through some key events and stats. You guys can let us know your thoughts on the game. If you guys are wanting to watch some Champions Cup action from the US of A, Flow Rugby is the place to be for that. So I'll put a link down in the description to Flow. They got all these games. They got the URC. They seem to have a lot of rugby content on. So happy days for Flow. But, yeah, man, it was a kind of slow start to this game because there was an injury to the Clermont hooker, Pelisson. And they had to stop the game for ages to see if he was going to be able to continue. And he did continue for a couple of minutes in time to see the first try of the game be scored by Matt Scott. And that was a kind of funny try because it was a Clermont scrum below the number 10. Was obviously just following whatever kind of set move they had planned. But Matt Scott saw it from so far away. It's like one of those videos where a car is on the ice and the person locks up the wheels and the car is just slowly sliding along and you know they're going to hit that other car. And then boom, it just happens. It just happens exactly like you know it's going to happen. This intercept was that far back that it was like that. You could see it coming from so far away. It was almost like slow motion, but it still played out. You were sure Bello was going to pull out of it, but no. It just happened. It just happened. So 7-0 to Leicester early. Pelisson does indeed go off. So not the ideal start for Clermont. And then they do manage to win, because it's been all Leicester early. They do manage to win a breakdown penalty on their own line after about 10 minutes. I'm thinking maybe this is going to be a shift of momentum. But not really. Leicester have got to take a shot at goal, but Pollard pushes that one wide. Rafael wins a breakdown penalty when Leicester are actually under a little bit of pressure, and he was pretty good today. And then, they do get the second chance for Pollard to put a penalty over. So it's a 10-point lead to the Leicester boys. Looking pretty sharp, to be honest. But there's a few moments in this game where points are scored and the other team just immediately hammers back with some points, and this is the case. So they're 10-0 down Clermont, and pretty much the next set of phases, it's all Clermont. And they score a pretty bloody good try, which is one of many pretty bloody good tries. I mean, this one, Simone's final pass. I mean, the hands in the build-up are good, but Simone's final pass, as he's about to put a foot in touch to get the kind of pass away as he's being tackled to Delhi, is phenomenal. The TMO has to check it. Couple of angles, some slow motion, but it's ruled that it's all good, so Delhi gets the try. 10 points to 7, so back to being game on after being all Leicester for the initial period. But then Leicester's scrum does get on top for large periods of the game, and I don't know, maybe Clermont should have made a substitution early because they were getting hammered for quite some time. 29 minutes is a scrum penalty. Leicester opt for touch. They go for a maul. They go through some phases. And then another bloody good try, man. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this it's pretty good. With Harry Simmons out on the left wing, he steps two players. He steps Alex Newsom and he steps Rucker. Yeah, it's almost like schoolboy stuff, the way he just jinks and jives and nobody gets a hand on him. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. That's going to be a highlight level one. That one. So 17-7, Leicester's lead is restored. Gets worse for Clermont when Fritz Lee gets pinged for a head-on-head clash with Ben Youngs. They mitigate it down to a yellow because there was a initial tackler who was kind of changed the point of contact for Fritz Lee. So it was a bit of a lucky one. But yeah, the commentary team called it right. It was going to be yellow, and it was. And Leicester punished immediately, the 14-on-15. They get a maul. It goes close. And right as the maul's getting stopped, they get the ball out. And Dan Kelly is able to kind of twist over. So 24-7, starting to look pretty comfortable. Remember how I said the teams were able to hit back pretty much straight away? Clermont do it this time from the restart. Basically, Rucker has a step and a fend. Pollard was one of the guys. Was it Matt Scott, the other one? Into some really big space. He eventually gets ankle tapped, but the hands of Clermont are able to keep the ball alive, and Fourcade is able to go over on 36 minutes. So just when they're starting to look potentially dead and buried, they are able to get things back. I think Simone with another offload as he was going into touch. So yeah, 24-14. A scrum penalty for Leicester makes it 27-14 at halftime. So it's still beyond a score, but not quite dead and buried are the Clermont boys. So Clermont have had more possession, but Leicester have controlled the territory, and Clermont's tackling percentage in the first half is in the 70s. Pretty poor, and they've conceded 8 penalties to 1. A few of them at scrum time. So not often will you see a side only concede 1 penalty, and I don't think the local crowd appreciated Frank Murphy's refereeing, to put it mildly. Second half, weird moment where they almost miss a try. It's one of the most bizarre things you've ever seen. Yeah, not often you see this kind of stuff on a rugby pitch where Clermont have been attacking, the ball bobbles forward, it looks like it's a knock-on. The Clermont guys go, because Rafael can't control the ball on the ground for Leicester. It's in the end goal area. One of the Clermont guys just touches it down, just in case. But the ref's like, no, there was a knock-on in the build-up, so let's set a scrum. They're in the process of setting the scrum. And the TMO's like, hold on. we need to have a look at this. And sure enough, there is no knock-on. It's a missed attempt to grab the ball from the Clermont guys. It's knocked backwards by Leicester. So, yeah, it ends up being a trip to Berlin right at the start of the second half. It is bonkers. Like, they were literally setting up the scrum before the TMO intervention. So, yeah, 27-19. And then Leicester get the bonus point more or less immediately back after they've conceded that bizarre try. Set play this one, Youngs to Pollard, who puts it out the back to Stewart. Stewart to Scott, and Scott gets his second try. So, yeah, 41, 43. The tries just kept coming in this game, man. It was really crazy. So 34-19. And then, is it the try of the game when a lock puts a dummy pass on the fullback, Jadrziak? I mean, goodness gracious me, man. This game had everything. Didn't have a red card, which I'm pretty pleased about. Austin Healy said it reminded of some other try from back in like the Martin Johnson era. But, I mean, Brodie Retallick did that a couple of years ago against the Aussies. Just threw a real wicked dummy. Yeah, so you love seeing the locks do it. It doesn't happen very often, so pretty brutal. Pretty brutal when a lock's able to do that to you. So, great try. Certainly very highlight-worthy. 34-26. Kind of back to being game on. And then there's 3 moments where I reckon Clermont lose this game, or Leicester win this game, whichever you want to call it, because I feel like by the end of the game, Clermont has wrestled the momentum away. They're looking to score. Fourcade goes on a great run, and he had a good game from the bench. But Cracknell wins a great breakdown penalty. So stifles that one. That's 1. And then Clermont have a 5-metre line out on about the hour mark. And instead of just going up and mauling it, they do the whole get the jumper to throw it back down to another guy to kind of change the point of contact. I think it was Fisher. But he knocks it on as he's looking to go around the corner. So second chance gone. And then Rucker looks like he's going to go over in the corner, and Jimmy Gopworth puts in a try saver. So bang, bang, bang. Clermont looked 3 very good chances, and none of them taken. Either Leicester stop it or Clermont muck it up. So, yeah, I think that's maybe where the game is not won for Clermont, and Leicester managed to hold on. I mean, Clermont get a penalty 10 minutes later to bring it back to a game, but they've had to work that hard just to get 3 points. I don't think they've got the gas in the tank to go the rest of the way, and sure enough, they don't. Gopworth kicks one a couple of minutes later to put it back out of a 1-score range, and then Cronin, the prop, gets a try on 79 minutes, just kind of burrows over to the side of a ruck to absolutely put it beyond doubt. So, yeah, crazy game. Lock, dummy, almost missed try, a couple of offloads from Simone as he's going into touch. Matt Scott with the most readable intercept ever. Yeah, man, this game had a bit of everything. Clermont finished with more possession, more territory, 57% possession, 52% territory, more run meters, 500 odd to 200 odd, so big time difference. But the Leicester guys win more turnovers, 5-4. They got more tackles, 119 to 66, so a lot of it built on some more solid defense. And the discipline, 14-5, the penalty count is horrendously high for Clermont, but that's very low. To only concede 5 penalties in a game, even if that's like 4 1/2, that's very low. Really, really very low. So Raka has 109 metres for Clermont. He will look sharp. 4 defenders beaten for him. Newsom at the back. 96 metres, 2 defenders beaten, 2 offloads, 2 clean breaks, although they were both stepped in that Simmons try. So, yeah, not perfect. Henderson, the lock, 18 tackles. Tommy Raphael, a couple of turnovers. I think that qualifies Leicester for the next round. So, yeah, man, crazy stuff. As I said, really entertaining game. Had a bit of everything. Well worth watching the highlights if you haven't seen them. There is some proper quality tries in this game. But, yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.